This course will benefit those students who would like to have a career within the criminal justice sector, or maybe in the social and probation work sector, or maybe other social science avenues such as sociology and psychology. Criminologists want to study crime, and in particular, they want us to have an understanding of what the common causes of criminal behaviour are, and then the impact that that can have on both a personal and societal level. The first unit, titled Change in Awareness of Crime, is where you will analyse different types of crimes, because not all types of crimes are alike, especially when we consider who the common victim or perpetrator may be. As part of our analysis, we will also look at the types of crimes that exist about which we know little about, generally because they have not been reported to the police or they have not been paid interest to by the media. This leads us to explore why people are reluctant to report crimes, even if they have been a victim of that crime themselves. Understanding this helps us to understand the complexity surrounding human behaviour, and it is this understanding of unreported behaviour that then leads us to look at what the consequences of not reporting crimes are. Sometimes those consequences may be positive, but they may also be negative. And in exploring them, we will look at those strengths and weaknesses. Looking at the reasons and consequences of crime, we are highlighting the function of the media in particular as a means of creating fear and fascination with crime. But what we will question here is how reliable this type of information is, especially when we consider the problem with the media being a source of our moral guidance upon which we judge other people. We cannot just stop at the media at this point because there are other important agencies of information that we also need to explore. And this is where we will go beyond the media and start looking at the role of other agencies of social control like the police, who enforce and gather information about crime for us. And in the same fashion, we will question their accuracy of data, of gatherers of data. And so by the end of this unit, we should gain the skills to be able to differentiate between the myth and realities when it comes to crime. And this will help us with the understanding of the importance of changing public's perception of crime. It is this change in awareness that will be the focus of your controlled assessment in Year 12. You will at this point be able to use and assess a variety of methods used by agencies to raise our awareness of crime so that it can be tackled effectively. You will at this point be able to plan a campaign for change with the aim of wanting to alert the public to this particular type of crime so that you can change their attitude, because changing their attitude will mean that you could be contributing to a change in their reporting behaviour. Unit 2 that you will work through at the end of Year 12 is focusing on criminological theories. And this is the exam component of your Year 12. Criminologists have produced theoretical explanations of why people commit crimes. And this unit links to the previous unit because Knowing about the different types of crime that we've explored in the previous unit, and then attaching that to criminological approaches to theory will give you an insight into the thinking that's held by experts and politicians in our society. And as lawmakers, they are informed by theory, but they also use this thinking when it comes to then deciding what is the best solution to the problem of specific types of crime. As part of this unit, you will be judging the usefulness of each theory. Therefore, you're developing the skill that you need to be able to support a theory, challenge it, and then evaluate these expert opinions that we have in our society. At this point, you will have come to the end of your Year 12 study in Criminology. Unit 3 won't begin until the start of Year 13. And in Unit 3, the first module that we come across is what is called the crime scene to courtroom. And this forms your first controlled assessment that you will cover during Year 13. This unit will give you the opportunity to examine the justice of verdicts that have been reached in criminal cases. As you can see from the diagram on your PowerPoint slide, the criminal trial process involves many different people and agencies. And what we will do in this unit is explore the role of people that is involved from the moment a crime scene is detected to the moment that a guilty or non-guilty verdict is reached. And at each point, we will be looking at the investigative techniques that is used to identify the culprit. But what we will also be sensitive to is the strict rules that each personnel has to follow when they are collecting and gathering information about a crime. Once this process has taken place, the role of the jury and the many factors that will involve decision making at this point is also important to acknowledge. So exploring this process will enable you to gain the skills that is necessary to be able to review criminal cases. You will be able, as a result of this unit, to be able to evaluate the evidence in cases that help determine whether the verdict that was reached at the end of this criminal process was a safe verdict and it was a just verdict. The last unit that you will explore in Year 13 is called Crime and Punishment. This will be an external exam that will be sat at the end of Year 13. And the aim of this unit is to develop your evaluative skills, in particular, regarding the effectiveness of social control agencies in delivering policy to practice. What we know is that the majority of society is law-abiding. Even when it may go against our own interests, we still abide by our rules and regulations in society. So consequently, the majority of crime in society is petty, and the more serious crimes are committed by a minority. But we have to ensure that the regulation of behaviour on a daily basis in society is guaranteed. To guarantee this, Society has to develop a complex system of mechanisms, processes, and organizations to ensure that people do not break the law. So when people commit a crime, society needs to be protected. And this is where we call upon certain agencies to ensure that society is protected. So people like the police, criminal justice system, prisons are all being explored in this unit. Because a great deal of taxpayers' money is spent on social control, what we will be questioning in particular is their effectiveness in dealing with criminality in order to ensure that society is protected from behaviour that is going to threaten its functioning. At the end of this course, the kind of careers that you can be expected to follow may be, as I alluded to earlier, in areas like probation work or social work, maybe with youths in particular, such as in youth detention centres. But it's not just there. We can also work within the criminal justice system in particular, or we can look to other social science avenues like psychology and sociology and careers that are related to those particular social sciences. The main purpose of this qualification is to help students who want to gain access to higher education degree courses. And as you can see from the list in front of you, there are a range of degree courses that the Level 3 Diploma will guarantee you access to. Alternatively, for those students who don't want to necessarily go on to a higher education degree course, then employment in areas such as the National Probation Service, within courts and tribunal service, or National Offender Management Services can also be sought from a diploma, Level 3 Diploma in Criminology. In terms of entry requirements, then your average 6 GCSEs A star to C would be expected as a foundation onto the course. We have said that it's desirable for a B to be achieved in English in particular, and the reasons for it is to deal with some of the extended pieces of work that you would be expected to be writing within the exam and the controlled assessment component. And lastly, why study criminology? Then studying criminology is going to be fun and fascinating. It's going to help you become a better communicator. It's going to help you from a literacy point of view be able to formulate structured arguments about social issues in society. It will also help complement your studies in other subjects that are more science related or in subjects that are more humanities related, where there is that more extended discussion feel to the subject. It will enhance your discussion skills, especially regarding real world issues, because there will be a great deal of real life case studies being used in your study of criminology. And from that, you should gain a greater appreciation for human development at all stages of lives. Reading about real life case studies, evaluating the sources at which we get our information from will help you develop the ability to think critically. And all of these skills combined together are respectable skills, and they're skills that can be transferred to a great deal of employers, and should therefore be something that you will find of use in any type of employment. That's the end of the presentation, and I hope it's answered all the questions that you have. Thank you for listening. Goodbye.